The opinions and suggestions expressed on the following program are solely those of the participants and are not necessarily endorsed by KRMG, Cox Media Group Incorporated, or the program sponsors. This following program is sponsored by Causeway, LLC. Information in this broadcast is not intended as an investment, tax, or financial advice. Matthew Moore is not a licensed investment advisor and speaks solely from his experience and opinions. All information in this broadcast is for entertainment or educational purposes only. Matthew Moore, Causeway, LLC, and Cox Media Group Tulsa are not responsible for the success or failure of any person's investment decisions or purchases. Matthew Moore, Causeway, LLC, and Cox Media Group Tulsa makes no and expressly disclaims all representations, warranties, and guarantees with respect to this broadcast and its sponsors. Investing in any market is inherently risky and can be financially dangerous. Invest at your own risk. Gather knowledge in the world of cryptocurrency right now on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's news and talk. Welcome to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. Matthew is locally based right here in Tulsa. Questions, comments, concerns? Call 918-460-5764 or send us an open mic using the KRMG app. Now, here's Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore.
And good Sunday evening to you. My name is Russell Mills. Thank you so much for tuning in on what has been a lovely Sunday afternoon. And now it is moving into Sunday evening. It is time for Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We're going to go adventuring around the world of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies. And we got a lot to pack into the next hour. So sit down, relax, and enjoy the ride as we tell you about a big old Bitcoin meetup coming to a nearby town. All kinds of good stuff. Let's bring in our host, the guy, Matthew J. Moore. They named the show after you, Matt.
You know,
that was a good call.
I think so. I think so. You know, we are very creative with our name here, but at the same time, we're also locked and loaded for a great show.
Yep.
We're going to have a great guest with some great information. So I want to just welcome all you crypto newbies, lovers, and experts. Depending on where you are on that scale, this show is for you, and one of the few in America when it comes to cryptocurrency. So, and like Russell was saying, today is a great day, and not just because the snow is melting, but because we get to talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency on the FM radio and AM radio, I should say. This is always my favorite part of the week, and it's an opportunity to nerd out and share with the wonderful people of Tulsa and the world about the benefits of Bitcoin. Although it seems to me that every day now, and I don't know, this you might see this true, Russell, but every day has some kind of celebration.
Yeah, on the morning show, they're always, today is whatever, National Widget Day or whatever, and you've come up with some interesting examples of that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, whether it's National Ice Cream Day, Star Wars Day, or National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, it seems like we're celebrating something every day. But those who are unaware, February 6th is officially, get this, Dump Your Significant Jerk Day and Canadian Maple Syrup Day, which honestly sounds like a bittersweet day. Dun, dun, dun. However, I know I'm bad. However, I would like to spice things up and make my own declaration for February 6th with a little bit, or with the little power that I have. Starting today, February 6th, 2022, will officially be known as Radio Co-Host Appreciation Day. And Eric Cooper is my co-host, but unfortunately, he could not be here. But I have a fill-in co-host, which I am also very thankful for, and will appreciate all the wonderful things he brings to my life as a friend and as a new sponsor as well. But I am eternally grateful, honestly. If you're listening to this, I am eternally grateful for what you've done, because not just for me, but also for the city of Tulsa, because it's because of you that we get to sit here and convince total strangers about the wonders and benefits of Bitcoin. It's a wonderful thing. In fact, I would like to welcome my co-host, my fill-in co-host, and new sponsor, Scott Mcelroy. Welcome, Scott. You
Thanks. There? Yeah, thanks, Matt. I'm enjoying to be here.
And welcome aboard.
Yeah, am I kind of putting you in a little bit of awe of my dad jokes?
Yeah, considering...
Yeah.
Not really a dad yet.
I know I'm not. But I'm practicing there. I'm working on that, okay?
As far as we know.
Yeah, right. But Scott, he is the owner of Bubble Up Car Wash. And again, like I said, is now a sponsor of the show. Scott, can you tell us a little bit about what you do and about the Bubble Up Car Wash?
Yeah, so we kind of do what's in the name. We wash people's cars over in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And you can come out to Bubble Up Car Wash and do free vacuums. We've got free towels to use to wipe down the cars, as well as air wands.
Oh.
The kids love those.
I would imagine you're doing bang up business
You
right
know what?
now.
We're pretty busy today. Yeah.
Because,
yeah.
that salt and stuff on the highways, not good for the undercarriage. That stuff will eat your car if you leave it on there. So you have the undercarriage wash and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. We have all
Don't skip that, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't skip the car wash with the undercarriage. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
wash.
it's not definitely. You definitely want to get that stuff off as fast as possible. But let me ask you this: where exactly are you located in Broken Arrow?
Yeah, so we're at, I'm going to give you the address, which is 470 East Kenosha.
Okay.
And then in layman's terms, that is on 71st Street between Main and Lynn Lane in Broken Arrow.
And you guys are fairly new, right?
Correct. We opened in beginning of October.
Okay, well, I know you're a big fan of cryptocurrency, so when can I stop by and pay for my wash with crypto?
Funny story about that. When I was first getting into the car wash, I pull up to this. We were at the car wash show, and there was this vendor called CryptoPay.
Okay.
And so I walk up and I'm like, I'm super excited because I'm like, hey, we can take crypto for payment. And they're like, oh no, this has been around since, this was the old crypto, right? So the answer is, as soon as that technology is available for our pay stations, I would love to have that possibility.
That'd be really cool. Well, Scott's going to be joining us about once a month on this show and participating in our conversations. But I wanted to personally ask, as a business owner, what has gotten you so excited about joining us on this show and in this space in general? Can you share with us why you decided to take crypto serious?
Yeah, I've always been a super techie guy and really like being the first in on some tech stuff. And so when cryptocurrency really started to hit mainstream, it's not really that yet, but it's getting there. When it first hit that, I'm like, I need to look into this and really start to study it. And of course, studied Bitcoin, studied the underlying blockchain. And I really think the technology is just going to disrupt a lot of industries in the United States and the world.
Right. And before we went live, we were actually talking about the annual Bitcoin migration that's taking place on April 6th through 9th, which Scott will be joining us down in Miami. It's going to be a great time. And we got our accommodations booked. We got everything in order. But Scott, did you buy your tickets on my website at mattjmoore.com? And did you use the KRMG10 promo code for that discount?
Absolutely.
Right. And I can't remember exactly what price point you bought at, but right now tickets are about $800. You can get $80 off that. So it's a great deal if you're interested in going to that. So, but anyways, yeah. So Scott, what are you personally looking forward to? I know this is going to be your first time going to that conference, and I've kind of talked a lot about it. I showed you the videos of last year, but what are your expectations?
Yeah, I think my biggest expectation and just enjoyment for being immersed in the atmosphere of what is called Bitcoin. And so there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of information to wrap my head around, and I'm just really looking forward to going and experiencing all that and just immersing myself in it.
Yeah, I think when I brought Eric with me down to Miami, and it was kind of his first real exposure to the crypto community and the Bitcoin community, he was like, man, this thing is the real deal. He's like, these people are on fire for this. So I think it really kind of, awoke this realization inside of him for what this all was about. So yeah, I can't wait for you to come with us.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah. And as much as I would encourage everyone to go with us to Miami, not everybody can, whether it be that $800 ticket price, the flights, or the hotels. A lot goes into these big conferences. And even though I can get people discounts by going to my website at mattjmoore.com, I understand that not everybody is going to be able to go. I know, it's sad. But this is one of the reasons why I'm bringing on our main guest today, which, shout out to Litecoin Lisa for making this connection. Today's guest is the president of both Alpha BTC and the touring event known as Bitcoin Day. His name is Edward Winiger, and he is the brainchild for Bitcoin Day. And the great news is, this event is coming to Oklahoma City, which is just a short hop and a skip down the turnpike from Tulsa. This event is perfect for those who want to learn from experts and influencers alike, but don't want to travel that long distance to Miami, and maybe the price tag as well. Edward is literally bringing a conference to us, and Bitcoin is for everybody. That's why he's doing this. And this is why, we want to bring these kind of things to your attention, because I think it's important that you know that this opportunity is here. But when we come back for segment 2, we're going to bring Edward on the show, to give us the deets on this dope event, in my opinion. So stay frosty. Keep tuned in to KRMG. We got lots more, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation with him.
Absolutely. I look forward to hearing from him. Welcome aboard to Scott. And you know what? If you're excited about this stuff, you've come to the right place. And by the way, if you've missed an episode, if you're a longtime listener and went, man, and I don't remember I'm talking about such and such, well, we got good news. You can go to krmg.com or the KRMG app, hit the on-demand section, and voila, you will find podcasts of all of the episodes that are extant. And I believe this is episode 36 of Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. It's all there. You can sit there and listen to your heart's content. Or you can sit back and relax for a couple minutes because we'll be right back. You're listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Oh, welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. You're listening to 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. And we're tickled to death that you're joining us. We're live and local in the big city of Tulsa. And we've got some new faces and some new voices for you to hear. So I'm going to turn it right over to Matthew J. Moore and let him do the introductions. Matt?
Thank you, Russell, and welcome, Tulsa. Welcome, the world, I should say, because there are lots of people that listen to this radio show. In fact, I have a co-host with me, and he's filling in for Eric Cooper. His name is Scott Mcelroy. Scott, why don't you say hello, my friend? Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I really enjoy being here and make sure that everyone...
Nerding out, right? We're nerding out with crypto. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's why we do this show. But in fact, if you are listening to this show and you want to go back and listen to all the wonderful guests, all the information that we've put out there, you can definitely go to KRMG's website, and you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts as well, iTunes. We're all over the place. And there's just lots of great education, and that's why we do this show, is we really, really want to educate the people about what's coming, what kind of disruptions are going to happen, not just in the monetary system, but in all sorts of sectors, because that's what blockchain technology is truly going to do. But before we dive in and bring on our main guest today, we're going to talk about one of our sponsors that makes this show possible. Yes, Scott is a sponsor and my fill-in co-host, but he is also going to share with us a little information about our other sponsor.
Yeah, people actually always ask me, when's the best time to buy crypto? When's the best time to get in? When the market's down, when the market's up? And the short answer is always. And the best way to do that is to automate it. Right. Make it just an automatic thing. And our segment host, our segment sponsor is a company called Hedge. And Hedge makes you, or lets you be able to automate buying crypto. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you get paid in it. I mean, either all of your paycheck or just a portion of it. I mean, whether Bitcoin's price is up or down, it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, whether it's a bull market or a bear market, we want to make sure that people know that, hey, you know what? If you're interested in this thing called crypto, you can literally get paid in it, and Hedge makes it possible. And, Hedge is revolutionizing how we get paid. Hedge makes it easy to automatically, like Scott was saying, convert your pay into crypto. And whether you're an employer or an employee, you can get started in 4 easy steps. Just start getting paid in Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin. Crypto is essentially a long-term play, and crypto winter can be brutal, but also filled with great buying opportunities. So Hedge is here to make it easy to stack those sats month after month. And what are you waiting for? Start living on that hedge. Check them out at gethedge.io. Again, that's gethedge.io. Well, I say, let's not waste any more time, Scott. Let's bring on our main guest. I know we got some fun questions for him. But on the line with us, his name is Edward Winiger, president of Alpha BTC and Bitcoin Day. Edward, welcome to one of America's only crypto radio shows. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
That's where I'm based, and been in technology for about 18 years and been in Bitcoin for about 9 years.
Wow. So, I was looking at your background, and it looks like you've definitely been involved with Bitcoin for some time, but you also founded businesses in this space. Can you share with us your Bitcoin origin story? Because I'm always fascinated to hear how people found Bitcoin.
Sure. Yeah. So back in 2013, I was trading penny stocks and made a little money, and was on Yahoo Finance one day, and it was like July, summer of 2013, and there was a chart of this thing called Bitcoin, and it ran up from like $80 to $200 in a couple weeks or something like that, and so that piqued my interest and tried to figure out what it was, and tried to go down the path of wiring money to Mt. Gox, and thankfully did not get that accomplished. But yeah, that was when we started the company back in. By the end of the year, I'd started the company. We were the first Bitcoin company in Nebraska before Coinbase was even here, and we couldn't use Coinbase for a while. And then we tried to buy some hardware for mining, and then bought some Bitcoin kiosks, like ATMs essentially. And we were the first ATM here in Nebraska, and didn't get into mining at that time. We got hosed on that deal, but that was kind of the start of it all.
For those who are unfamiliar, Mt. Gox was really the first giant fiasco when it comes to exchanges. A lot of people lost money. So I think, Edward, you probably count yourself fortunate in that situation.
Yeah, we got scammed not scammed. We lost money on the mining hardware. We tried to place the order and sent them money in. It wasn't necessarily a shady company, but I mean, they obviously supposedly they had supply chain issues like a lot of other people at the time. So yeah, that was disappointing and frustrating. So.
Hey, Edward, this is Scott here. I'm also a business owner, and I'd really like to know what kind of challenges and really rewards also that you've experienced starting businesses in Bitcoin and around Bitcoin.
It has been it's been an uphill battle. I mean, in terms of legitimizing it in our region and making it making it seem more established, I'll say. The reason for doing it was to kind of fight the system, if you will, but wanting to be accepted, or we wanted to. The retail space was one of the first areas that we thought was going to change, and that we quickly realized that was not the case. We thought we were going to compete with the credit card companies and save these retailers 3% on their processing fees, and that didn't happen. So we, like I said, we had ATMs, and we currently have Bitcoin kiosks, and we also are mining. Those are our two main focuses besides Bitcoin Day.
Well, let me ask you this. Your website says this following statement. Every year, tens of thousands of people come to Omaha for the Berkshire Hathaway weekend to hear from their great leader, Warren Buffett, which has been very vocal about his disdain for Bitcoin. And as such, they don't get to hear about the greatest money known to man. And Bitcoin has, and as everybody probably knows by now, has ridiculously, let me pronounce that correctly, outperformed Berkshire Hathaway shares over the past decade. And just because Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger missed the boat doesn't mean that their followers should. And so you essentially dreamed up a parallel event as an outlet for those curious about cryptocurrency. Is this the origin of Bitcoin Day?
Kind of. It goes back a little to what I was saying a minute ago, and to answer Scott's question about, I think there's a lot of, retail adoption didn't take off like we expected. A lot of that is coming of age, though. I mean, educating businesses was a big part of what we hope to do with Bitcoin Day. Also compete with Berkshire Hathaway for sure. But you're seeing now, you've got like Perth. So we have an event coming up in Sacramento, and the manager for the Perth Heat, which is an Australian baseball team. They're now they were the first baseball team on the Bitcoin standard. You've got Everbowl. They're a restaurant. They announced the other day they're on the Bitcoin standard. And so you're finally seeing that retail adoption. There's a company called Ibex Mercado, and they are really championing the point of sale systems and helping businesses to accept Bitcoin. But those are some of the kind of uphill battles I mentioned earlier. But in terms of Berkshire Hathaway, they certainly for whatever misinformed reasons, they certainly are not huge fans of Bitcoin. And when we started Bitcoin, we I don't remember what exactly came first. We wanted to obviously educate businesses and people in the area about Bitcoin, but also we knew, there was this thing called Berkshire Hathaway Weekend, and so Bitcoin Day is certainly a play on that concept. And in 2023, they just announced their event is going to be the weekend of April 29th, and so this is the first time I'm announcing this, but we're going to have Bitcoin Day Omaha April 29th in order to be right across the street from Berkshire Hathaway Weekend. So that's the goal.
Nice. Well, we've got roughly about 2 minutes left, but I think Scott's got a quick question for you.
Yeah, I just want to know how you see Bitcoin Day kind of evolving, and how does it grow from here?
Yeah, so my ultimate goal is to have an event in Australia. There's obviously a strong community there, and the goal, part of bringing back Bitcoin Day post-COVID, was to get people in person again, wanting to kind of set a flag on the ground and say, hey, COVID's over, we shall be back to business as usual. And so we have probably about 100 cities in Omaha. Figure 6 to 7 a year, or not in Omaha. Sorry, 100 cities in the United States. So figure 6 or 7 a year. We've got 10 years plus of cities lined up that we can go to. Right now, we have identified about through 2025. So the goal is to have keep this going to hit 100 cities, hit Australia, and then we'll be announcing Canada shortly, hopefully. So
love it. Well, we're going to come right back. We're going to go to a break, but stay tuned and stay put, because we're going to have more with Edward in the next segment.
Yep, we're going to get you caught up on the news and the weather. By the way, I think you're going to like the forecast, especially if you were here in Northeast Oklahoma over the last several days. Oh, it's going to be much warmer, so that's good. And we've still got more to talk about, quite a bit. For one thing, I'm kind of interested to know what's going on in Miami. I'm kind of interested to find out more about this thing that's coming to Oklahoma City. So we'll chat about that, and I'm sure a lot more coming up on Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. You're listening to 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Oh, welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We're live and local in Tulsa, Oklahoma on a lovely Sunday evening. Hope that you have enjoyed the show so far. I think we've got a lot more to share with you. So I'm just going to shut up and let the host take over, because that's what I do best. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey, that was a good assist. Good hand over there. Thanks, Russell. I appreciate it. We're going to take it in for a slam dunk, but welcome back to one of America's only cryptocurrency radio shows. And yes, we are based here in Tulsa, but we have people listening to our content from all around the world. In fact, I have a wonderful fill-in for my co-host. His name is Scott Mcelroy. He's also a sponsor, a new sponsor of the show. Scott, welcome back, man.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Today on the line, we've got Edward Winiger, the president of Alpha BTC and the touring event known as Bitcoin Day. Edward, welcome back to the show. Hey, can you give us a few details about the upcoming event in Oklahoma City? What should people expect there?
Sure. So the event's on March 26th. We start the doors open at 7:30 a.m. and we have breakfast for people to come and snack on, and then we kick off the event at 8 o'clock. We will there's segments throughout just speakers throughout the day until around we break for lunch, and then around 4 o'clock we break for happy hour and open bar. So throughout the day, there's 2 tracks, and then we'll have speakers from around the country, speakers coming up from Texas, and then speakers from the region as well to talk about what's going on specifically in Oklahoma. And a lot of talk about mining, since there's a lot of oil and gas and energy interest down there, and then trying to just educate people about what Bitcoin is and why what the revolution that is in the works.
So Edward, can you let people know where exactly are you guys hosting it in Oklahoma City?
So we don't. It is not 100% official as far as like paperwork signed and everything like that. But there is the actual event is we're planning on the Chesapeake Boathouse is what it's called. So
Okay.
They have some conference rooms there, beautiful waterfront. You can see the water from out the window there. So it's going to be a great venue. And yeah, that's where it's at.
So where could people learn about all that you're doing? Is there a website they can go to where they can look up on the speakers and maybe find some details?
Yep. So if you go to bitcoinday.io, and then there's an upper right, there's tour dates, and you can pick Oklahoma City from the list there. So you see it'll say March 26th, Oklahoma City, or you can go to bitcoinday.io/OKC22.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to see it all come together, and I look forward to seeing even some of my friends down in Oklahoma City. But I'm going to let Scott take this next question.
Yeah, it sounds like that event's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, for someone that's been, obviously you've been in the Bitcoin space a long time. What are a couple of things that you're the most excited about in the space, and something that maybe you're just a little concerned about as well?
Most excited about probably, I would say the organization in terms of legislation and regulation that's happening. SAT Center, Tristine from Riot Blockchain is organizing the SAT Center, and then CJ Wilson and Dennis Porter are doing a lot in the political sphere. Those things get me excited. It's great to see, the goal of Bitcoin Day when we leave, right, we're only there for a day. The goal is that the meetup and the community in that region, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, that they'll be stronger. You'll have more attendees, that there'll be, more excitement about what you guys are doing, and, get some exposure. So what the meetups are doing in terms of, championing Bitcoin Day and helping us out with Bitcoin Day, and helping, we're helping each other get some more structure around what they're doing. That's been exciting as well. And then concerned about probably, on the other hand, there is certainly regulation, which I'm not too worried about, but I think if for some reason somebody, the government decided to start getting involved in mining, that would be not involved, but like stick their nose in the mining industry, that would be a concern. And then also certainly AML KYC is a concern as well, of them wanting to know everything we're up to financially. There's certainly a reason why we are proponents of Bitcoin. So.
All right. Yeah, because even the banks don't like this whole $600 threshold on transactions. So a lot of uproar on this whole tracking your money. But with any new industry and any new evolving technology, there's always a educational hump. There's this curve to get over. There's this, this challenge to educate people. And obviously you've spent a lot of time trying to orange pill the public about Bitcoin, the benefits of it. But what have you learned the most when trying to have these conversations with people?
I think it's been great to see the parallel between, not that Bitcoiners can run a broad spectrum of people that are involved. It's a pretty big tent, and but there are a few foundational principles that are part of the community in terms of freedom and liberty, and things that just kind of go hand in hand with having your own money. And so I think finding that community, again, the event is in large, all about community, and kind of finding that community and helping to promote it has certainly been something that I didn't necessarily, I didn't necessarily expect there to be such a big upswell there.
Yeah. Well, so would you consider yourself what they call a Bitcoin maxi, or are you kind of into other cryptocurrency projects as well?
I would say the way
you're not going to hurt my feelings.
Maxi.
What?
No. It's something I think about a lot. I am a Bitcoin maxi. What I have issue with is that the kind of the morality. I don't think it's a moral issue. So on my spectrum of what I am passionate about or care about, I certainly think that Bitcoin is important, and it's important that people are involved in Bitcoin. I'm not going to shun somebody necessarily because they hold whatever Hex or something like that, whatever other coin, Litecoin, Ethereum. But I think the trouble is like where the line is between making it a moral issue, and I think there is some morality behind that. But I think that as a Christian, it is not. It's hard for me to make it. There are other things that are more important to me about what your
Right. And, in my opinion, if we're going to have this, evolving cryptocurrency space, it's okay to have, these competing projects because, you know what, I am a sympathizer when it comes to, a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists. I kind of understand where they're coming from in a lot of ways, but I do own other cryptocurrency projects and speculate in those spaces. And, if mistakes are going to be made, if experiments are going to be done, why not do it on these other blockchains and then, take the good and, adapt it or integrate it into Bitcoin. So I think, experimentation, competition, all this stuff is fun and it's a fun space to explore. And, having people on like yourself who's been in the space for a long time, we try to build a healthy perspective. And so that's why I just wanted to know. So everybody's kind of got their own take on it, but, we'll see how it all unfolds. I mean, time will tell, definitely. But I think Scott's got another question. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, Bitcoin is the most important, and people should be focused on Bitcoin. I think the concern or the trouble is when people don't realize that other coins are not Bitcoin, and then
Right.
those creators, those projects are taking money from those people for nefarious reasons or some, with good intention, and they're taking the focus away from Bitcoin, which I would say is the most important and where people should be focused.
Right. Yeah. No. And I agree with that sentiment to some level. And as a libertarian myself, somebody who believes in the opportunity to fail and make mistakes. It's it's interesting to see how all the cookie crumbles, I guess. But yeah, I go ahead, Scott. I think you had a question.
Yeah, Edward, that's an awesome viewpoint and conversation. Matt told me that Bitcoin Day in Oklahoma City is sponsored by Bitcoin Magazine. Is there any relationship between the objectives of Bitcoin 2022 in Miami and the tour you guys have?
Sure. So we try to be. There are a few conferences and a few organizations that we are certainly want to be cognizant of what they are doing in terms of BitBlock Boom, Unconfiscatable. And Bitcoin 22 is certainly we work our schedule around those guys, and so we're not we don't want to compete with any of those other events. And Bitcoin Magazine has been one of our biggest supporters. They are we want to bring, and I think they recognize this. We want to bring the Bitcoin 22 vibes to Oklahoma City on March 26th. That's the goal. And I think they obviously recognize that as a sponsor, and they are certainly championing what we're doing. Christian and the other Bitcoin Magazine folks will be speakers throughout the tour. So yeah, Bitcoin Magazine they are doing great work, and we're very happy to work with them.
Absolutely. I love what they're doing there as well. And, if you could give some advice to people, how do people get the most out of events like Bitcoin Day in Oklahoma City? Because if people attend, how do you recommend them, just spend their time there? Should they be making connections? Should they be sitting down and learning? Like, how do you best approach these things?
I think so. We're going to have so there's going to be a Bitcoin 101 table, which is very valuable in terms of getting hands-on experience. If you want to sit and just get a wallet installed on your phone, buy some Bitcoin, whatever those the foundational things are. If you're coming in with having not taken a step forward yet and are just learning, Bitcoin 101 is a great table to get your questions answered. So I wouldn't feel bad about skipping a session and going and sitting at the Bitcoin 101 table and talking with the folks there to learn more. Otherwise, I would look at the schedule ahead of time, kind of pick the tracks or the rooms. They're not necessarily organized by any certain topics or anything like that. I would just go through and feel free to email us if you want recommendations on rooms to speakers to hear from. But I would try to get as many business cards or email addresses as possible while you're there, and then find the local meetup. Call or email, text the folks that you meet afterwards, and just keep the conversations going. Now, I think the connections are certainly the most valuable part of the day.
Because it's often who you know, right?
That's right.
And how many connections have you made, like going to those conferences in Miami? And
oh my gosh,
would we even be talking to him right now if you hadn't
Oh yeah. Well,
Right?
no. So yeah. Well, for me, I go to the trade show part of it, and that's all I spend where my time at is talking to people.
Right. Because again, that's where you're going to learn. That's where you're going to get comfortable. That's where you're going to get excited. That's why they have these meetups. Hey, you are listening to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. We're live and local in the big city of Tulsa. Quick time out. We'll be right back. This is 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Oh, welcome back to Cryptocurrency with Matthew J. Moore. My name is Russell Mills. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We do appreciate it. We are live, and we're local right here in Tulsa. One of the very few cryptocurrency themed radio shows you're going to find on the globe, and it's right here in your backyard. So sit back, tune in, enjoy as we turn it over to our hosts, Matthew J. Moore. Hey, Matt.
Hey, this is a journey. Cryptocurrency education, it's all a journey, and we're here to unpack it, to decode it. Some of it might seem a little cryptic to a lot of people, but
I like what you did, cryptic.
Yeah,
Nice.
right, cryptocurrency. But yeah, we're here to have wonderful conversations. In fact, on the line with us is Edward Winiger, and he is the president of Alpha BTC and a touring event known as Bitcoin Day. But to kick us off, I'm going to hand it over to my fill-in co-host, Scott Mcelroy, who is also a new sponsor to the show. But Scott, why don't you kick us back off and let's get this going with Edward.
Hey, the step co-host can be just as good as the real one sometimes.
I
right?
still love you just as much.
Hey, Edward, to date, what do you consider the biggest achievement for Bitcoin? And of course, we all want to know how you think that 2022 is going to play out.
Right.
Yeah, I think the biggest achievement for Bitcoin is the self-governance, the way that the community has worked together to keep Bitcoin what it always has been. But obviously, there have been some bips or improvements along the way, such as there's been some soft forks, there's been some the block size debate has been healthy and good. And then also implementation of things like Lightning, so people can use Bitcoin but use it faster. It's more retail-friendly improvement there. And I think I had $100,000 per Bitcoin on my charts for 2021. Obviously, that didn't happen, so I'm optimistic that we'll hit that in 2022. So we'll see. It's still early.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm really waiting to get Bitcoin above that 42,000 level, and I think if we can do that, we might be changing the course. Getting rid of that downward momentum. But watching it evolve, I was in the same spot. I was targeting $100,000 Bitcoin at the end of 2021, and we didn't, like you said, we didn't see that. But expect the unexpected in Bitcoin. If you've been in this space long enough,
that's for sure.
You definitely know that anything can happen. I mean, one day you might wake up and it jumps $10,000. It's nuts. So, but yeah, to see this all in play, Edward, can you just remind people again, if they want to come to the event in OKC, where can they go to not only learn but to get tickets?
Yeah, so you can see the schedule of speakers we have lined up, and we're continually adding to that. So if you go to bitcoinday.io and then select tour dates, and it'll be Oklahoma City. But yeah, we've got exciting speakers lined up. I mentioned Riot already, and we've got Kyle Murphy coming up from Dallas, and then we will be announcing some other big names here shortly.
Yeah, lots of exciting things coming up there. I'm actually looking forward to checking out that a little more myself. Hey, Edward,
I should mention also that people buying tickets, use promo code KRMG for the radio station, and you'll get 10% off. So that's probably a pretty important piece. So
love it. Well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that.
Matt, sounds like you need to add that to your website.
I know. I think I do. Well, we'll try to get some T-towners down in OKC. I mean, it's just an hour and a half drive down the turnpike. So
It's a
I would
straight
be
drive,
shocked if you didn't have decent attendance from Tulsa, because in my humble opinion, we're kind of kicking their butt on this end of the turnpike when it comes to Bitcoin. And I'm not, at least from what I'm seeing, of course I'm biased, but that's what I see.
Well, we should syndicate this show down in Oklahoma City, and so every time people hear this show, they hear us talking about Tulsa, right? That'd be cool.
Absolutely, they love that in Oklahoma City.
All right, well, we got a couple.
You guys are doing great work. This is a great platform to have to be able to spread the word about Bitcoin for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of been our thing is, podcasts and YouTube are great, but you really got to either search those out or the algorithm has to know that you might be interested in it. With radio, we're kind of casting a wide net, trying to expose a lot of people to the interesting facts about Bitcoin and the world of cryptocurrency. And this is why we do this show. So, we definitely are loving the progress and what we're doing. But, Edward, it really has been an absolute honor. And I want to thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing, but I just want to encourage you, keep up that phenomenal work, man, because, I really cherish what you're trying to do, and I think it has potential to blow your mind, and I think it definitely will continue to, and more people need to come and participate in these gatherings because that's where the magic happens. So, but do you have any last words of advice for people who might be either thinking about entering this space or who are in this space already?
Well, I would say it's like you were talking about earlier. It's quite a cryptic. It's hard to understand sometimes. Find a friend or find somebody you can ask questions of. Start simple. Just get a wallet. Get yourself some Bitcoin, and then you can get into more complex. Starting to figure out some of the harder concepts later on. But just take small steps and take it easy. But I certainly would recommend that you get involved somehow and be sure to spread the word about the event. That'd be a great opportunity to learn and tell your friends about that as well. Thank
you very much to Edward Weniger for joining us. Thanks very much to Scott Mcelroy for sitting in as our co-host. He'll be back, and we'll be back next Sunday at 5. See you then.